look
Well,
at
hang on
my
a second. You
following.
said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
Well, then how did you see that hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen the for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying...
Then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well...
That's false.
Elon Musk is no pushover, and he doesn't like being called out on bullshit. You're watching Nope to Woke.
Like, wokeness basically wants to make comedy illegal, which is not cool.
We've experienced a little bit of that.
I mean, Chappelle, like, what the...
Flower bed.
I mean, try to shut down Chappelle? Come on, man. That's crazy. You know, so do we want a humorless society that is simply rife with condemnation and hate, basically?
And no forgiveness, right?
Yeah. At its heart, wokeness is divisive, exclusionary, and hateful. It basically gives mean people a reason. It gives them a shield to be mean and cruel, armored in false virtue.
Wokeness gives mean people a shield to be mean and cruel, armored in false virtue. Well said, Mr. Musk.
This had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
But
go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
Trying to bribe Elon Musk with money is like trying to bribe the ocean with a cup of water. Completely unnecessary and embarrassing.
Offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
Translation: my piggy bank is so fat with cash, it needs a diet.
Moderation on the platform, that you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the great replacement theory as it relates to...
I don't have to answer these questions.
Great replacement theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that...
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
Elon really went, look at me, I am the captain now, to remind this journalist who's in charge.
But how do they know if it's going to move the market if they're not reading all of them before you send them?
Well, I guess we might make some mistakes. Who knows?
Are you serious?
Nobody's perfect.
Look at you.
No, I want to be clear. I do not respect the SEC. I do not respect them.
But you're abiding by the settlement, aren't you?
Because I respect the justice system.
I respect the law, but fuck the SEC, and I'ma do it like a gangsta.
I think we want to look to the future rather than the past. And instead of engaging in constant rehashing of the past, because in fact, if you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Yes. Well, not everyone was a slave.
No, everyone was a slave.
Okay, but
we are all descended from slaves.
Yeah.
Well, all of us.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
Right.
But what future do we want? Is this something we want to make part of our constant dialogue forever, or do we want to say, like, let's just move on and treat everyone according to just who they are as an individual?
Elon says acknowledging the past is important, but being progressive is more important, because freedom is way more fun than being forced to do chores.
You tweet a lot.
I use my tweets to express myself. Some people use their hair. I use Twitter.
Well, but you use your tweeting to kind of get back at critics.
Rarely.
You kind of have little wars with the press.
Twitter is a war zone. If somebody's going to jump in the war zone, it's like, okay, you're in the arena. Let's go.
Twitter, or X, is the only place you can say, I like pancakes, and suddenly find yourself in a 12-hour debate about why you hate waffles.
Were previously banned for spreading things like QAnon conspiracies. You have people like Andrew Tate who were brought back, who were previously banned for things like hate speech. Do you think you prioritize freedom of speech over misinformation and hate speech?
You know, who's to say that something is misinformation? Who's the arbiter of that? Is it the BBC?
You're literally asking me.
Yeah.
Saying the BBC decides what's free speech and what's hate speech is like letting a referee play for one of the teams. Expect some very interesting calls.
If part of the underlying model, at least today, and maybe it needs to shift, maybe the answer is it needs to shift away from advertising. If you believe that this is the one part of your business where you will be beholden to those who have this view, what do you do?
F-Y.
And by FYI, he means go F yourself.
Do you
Yeah, I think that's true. That's my opinion.
Okay, but why share it? Why share it? Especially, why share it when people who buy Teslas may not agree with you, advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you? Why not just say, hey, I think this. You can tell me, we can talk about it over there, you can tell your friends, but why share it widely?
I mean, this is freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say what I want.
And by freedom of speech, he means go F yourself.
Why do you believe the trans rights movement is a woke mind virus? What do you mean by woke mind virus?
Woke mind virus is when you stop caring about people's skills and their integrity, and you start focusing instead on gender and race and other things that are different from that. I think the woke mind virus is fundamentally racist, fundamentally sexist, and fundamentally evil.
By woke's logic, sharks are just misunderstood goldfish. No, they are motherfucking sharks, brah. By the way, if you're liking this, make sure you subscribe for more anti-woke videos, new videos every week.
But it's 80% are gone from the day you took over.
That's correct, yes.
So how do you run the company with only 20% of the staff?
It turns out you don't need that many people to run Twitter.
But 80%? That's a lot.
Yes. If you're not trying to run some sort of glorified activist organization and you're not care that much about censorship, then you can really let go of a lot of people, it turns out.
Musk fired over 80% of Twitter's workforce when he took over. Modern companies have so many people on beanbags having meetings about nothing, it's like they're trying to invent the world's most comfortable way to be unproductive.
Finally, you're obviously a very competitive person. You're competing with the likes of Jeff Bezos
Jeff who?
I mean, who remembers the inventors of the internet? Fun fact, Vint Cerf and Bob Conn.
Because of an advertiser boycott, it will fail because of an advertiser boycott. And that will be what bankrupted the company, and that's what everybody on Earth will know.
What do you think then of the, this goes back to the idea of trust, though.
Then it'll be gone. And it'll be gone because of an advertiser boycott.
But you recognize that some of those people are going to say that they didn't feel comfortable on the platform. And I just wonder and ask you and think about that for a second.
Tell it to the judge.
But the judge is going to be...
The judge is the public.
Reporters and journalists really don't understand Musk's message to whoever tries to threaten him with no advertising. In summary, he says, go F yourself.
That's me. But I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest of Twitter.
You see more hate speech personally?
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
If something is slightly offensive, should it be banned from social media? Let us know what you think in the comments.
I'm generally against things that are anti-meritocratic or where there's an attempt to suppress discussion, where even discussing a topic is, not allowed. The woke mind virus is communism rebranded.
Well, that said, because of that battle against the woke mind virus, you're perceived as being right-wing.
If the woke is left, then I suppose that would be true.
Elon is clearly not a fan of woke, as he eloquently put it. The woke mind virus is communism rebranded.
It's really annoying when a video game gets interrupted by some DEI woke bullshit, and I'm like, Jesus, I was playing a video game here. Can you just leave the video games alone? You know, you don't want to do things that damage art. So it breaks you out of the story.
If you liked this video, check out the next one.